Imagine seeing an enemy aircraft approaching at nearly 900 kilometers per hour. You turn to engage it, but before you can even react, it's already gone. In the final years of World War II, Germany introduced a weapon that seemed decades ahead of its time. It was faster than every Allied fighter, it carried devastating firepower, and it marked the beginning of a new era in aerial warfare. This aircraft was the Me-262, the world's first operational jet fighter. Many believed it could change the course of the war, but despite its incredible technology, it failed to save Nazi Germany. Why? Because sometimes, even the most advanced weapon arrives too late.
By 1944, the war was turning against Germany. The Allies had gained momentum on nearly every front. In the West, British and American bombers crossed the skies daily, targeting factories, railways, oil facilities, and military installations. Thousands of bombs rained down on German cities. Germany's Air Force, once feared across Europe, was struggling. Many experienced pilots had already been lost in years of fighting. Fuel supplies were shrinking, and Allied aircraft were becoming stronger and more numerous. The Luftwaffe needed something extraordinary, something that could restore control of the skies, and German engineers believed they had the answer.
Development of the Me-262 had actually begun years earlier. German engineers were exploring jet propulsion long before most countries took the technology seriously. Unlike traditional aircraft, which relied on propellers to pull them through the air, the Me-262 used jet engines. This allowed it to achieve speeds that conventional fighters simply couldn't match. When the aircraft finally entered service, it shocked both friends and enemies alike. At top speed, the Me-262 could reach around 870 kilometers per hour. That made it significantly faster than the Allied fighters trying to intercept it. For many Allied pilots, chasing one was nearly impossible. The jet would appear, attack, and disappear before they could properly engage it. The future of aviation had arrived, and it arrived over the battlefields of World War II.
The Me-262 wasn't just fast, it was heavily armed. Mounted in its nose were 4 powerful 30mm cannons. These weapons could tear through enemy aircraft with only a few hits. The jet was especially effective against Allied bomber formations. American bombers often flew in massive groups protected by fighter escorts. Destroying them was becoming increasingly difficult for German pilots. But the Me-262 changed the equation. Its speed allowed it to approach quickly, unleash its firepower, and escape before enemy fighters could react. Some versions were even equipped with air-to-air rockets, giving them even greater destructive power. For Allied bomber crews, the appearance of a jet fighter was a frightening experience. Many had never seen anything like it, and for a brief moment, Germany seemed to possess a technological advantage that no one else could match.
If the Me-262 was so advanced, why didn't it save Germany? The answer lies in a combination of bad timing, poor decisions, and the realities of war. One major problem came from Adolf Hitler himself. Hitler wanted the aircraft to serve not only as a fighter, but also as a fast bomber. This decision delayed its deployment in the role where it was most effective, destroying enemy aircraft. While debates continued, valuable time was lost. Another problem was production. Germany's factories were under constant attack from Allied bombers. Building large numbers of advanced aircraft became increasingly difficult. Then there was the issue of fuel. Jet engines consumed enormous amounts of fuel, and Germany was already facing severe shortages. Even when aircraft were available, there often wasn't enough fuel to fly them effectively. The engines themselves created problems. Early jet technology was still new and unreliable. The engines wore out quickly and required frequent maintenance. Pilots also faced challenges. Germany no longer had an abundance of experienced aviators. Training new pilots took time, and many recruits lacked the experience needed to maximize the jet's potential. By the time significant numbers of Me-262s reached combat units, Germany was already fighting a losing battle.
The Me-262 represented the future. It was faster, more advanced, and more powerful than nearly every aircraft it faced. In many ways, it was the first glimpse of modern air combat. After the war, nations around the world rushed to develop their own jet fighters, inspired by the technology Germany had pioneered. The jet age had begun. But for Nazi Germany, the breakthrough came too late. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more stories from history's most fascinating weapons, battles, and turning points. Thanks for watching.